Hello, everyone, and this is kind of at the movies and kind of into comic books. Welcome back to this Brain Wealth, and thanks so much for clicking like and subscribe, and welcome all new subscribers. I thank you very much. This one, if you're a really big comic book fan, this may not warm your heart at all. It might make you laugh. It might make you cry. But Bounding into Comics reporting about Marvel dumping 250,000 graphic novels to liquidation outlets. I know Ollie's is mentioned, and so I'm guessing that's copies. That's obviously they don't have that many graphic novels. Now these are the full-blown hardbound books, hardback books. Usually, well, they're sometimes soft, but quite a bit of work in these, quite a bit of effort put in usually. And according to the most recent advertising flyer for Ollie's Bargain Outlet, it appears that the Marvel reached out to the national chain of liquidation and discount stores to offload an excessive stock of unsold comic books. And their so Ollie's apparently does this from time to time. Ollie will sometimes include a small story which provides some detail. And so let's read that. What's the story? Marvel called Ollie's looking to close out over 250,000 graphic novels. Ollie's answered with Avengers. Oops, we mean Vengeance. We bought it all to sell at savings up to 80% off the fancy store prices. Oh my goodness. Choose from a selection of all the Marvel favorites. Selection will vary by store. I imagine it's probably by region and stuff like that. I don't know how they ship their inventory around, so I don't know if it's just basically, Marvel may have these at outlets already, and they'll just ship them to the local Ollies. I'm going to have to check some of this out. Among the titles featured are the Avengers, Age of Ultron, Prelude, Civil War II, and Original Sin. This is not the first time that Ollie's has received a massive stock of merchandise from a major publisher or Marvel specifically. In January 2018, Ollie's received 19 truckloads of merchandise from DC. Oh, boy. Offering their titles up to 85% off. Wow. Now, I don't know how much of this is just that the comic book is dying as an art form and as a literature form, and how much of it's just horrible stories that no one wants to read. Later in May of 2018, they would receive a combined 115,000 Marvel and DC trade paperbacks worth $2.5 million in publisher liquidation sales. Wow, that is a lot. There's no difference. There is a noted difference between past Marvel acquisitions, where Marvel purchased the stock through liquidation sales, in this most recent instance where Marvel directly sought Ollie's help in offloading unsold product. This difference has led to speculation that Marvel may be attempting to offload product en masse in an effort to artificially inflate sales numbers. Yeah, that's probably true. That because they sold, you can put that in air quotes, they sold, as far as Marvel's concerned, they sold 250,000, right? They didn't dump them out the back door and then someone swept them up. And what this is meaning here, too, is that usually they get it from stores who can't sell it. So local branches of some or local stores will say, hey, look, I've got inventory. It's been sitting here a year. It's costing me money to keep it on the shelf or in my back room. I need room to make room for other merchandise that does sell. And they get it that way. And so maybe the retailer sells it at half price or something like that of what they pay for it. So at least they recoup some of their money, but obviously not all of it. But that's different. Here we have publishers going straight to them. And I'm guessing that's what some of these other truckloads were previously. This is supported by the sales numbers of one of the featured titles, Original Sin. According to Comicron, the hardcover collection of the title did not appear on any top sales list before 2018. So this has been going on a while, right? Is this a new article? Am I reading old news? This is old news. Oh my gosh, I didn't realize this was November of last year. So this has already passed. This has already been done. I'm sorry about that. I didn't realize it. The Original Sin hardcover placed 5th in pre-orders and reorders being placed between September 40th. Oh my goodness. So Marvel's excessive stock may be continuing result of poor quality trends that have led a year of increasingly poor industry sales and widespread closures of comic book stores. Yeah, it's a kind of a combination. I think we've got a perfect storm of stuff. We have comic books, and books in general have been moving downward for various reasons. Some of it is gone electronic, right? There are ways to get these things electronically. I've tried using Kindles and stuff like that for books that I buy, and I just can't. I've actually ordered some books today, soft cover, and from Amazon. So I don't. that's part of it. And then you kind of have, since they're using lower quality, potentially lower quality artists and things. Artists are just starting out. Style, maybe they're experimenting with styles that people don't like, and then the stories are kind of weak because the sales are kind of weak, so you can't really pay for the good stuff, if you will. And then you put all the political garbage. I mean, this version of Captain Marvel, for instance, they can't sell Captain Marvel to save their lives. And it's been rebooted 11 times in 6 years, and it looks like it's going to be rebooted a 12th time very soon. They get to like the third or fourth book in a new run, and the sales drop so low that they can't even continue. And so I think it's a combination of things. But even if they went back to brilliant writing and great artists, the sales would increase, but they're not going to go back to levels they were, and they may not even be at sustainable levels even at that. I think this is why those independent comics that you see advertised, I know Ethan's got some, and there's various others. Those are very short run, right? And the artwork is exquisite, but it's only, maybe it's only a book or two, maybe it's a run of 6. Some have done some things on. Or their parodies, like Jeff Hicks's Stealing Solo, is a one book deal. These aren't companies with lots of overhead trying to churn out storyline after storyline over multiple, right? How many different superheroes are there, and they all have their own comic runs, and then they'll cross between them. That's a much larger enterprise, and that time of that might be upon the end of it, may be upon us, and that's what we're watching. Plus, you add all the political nonsense that alienates more than half the audience, because the people who want this don't buy the books, and the people who do buy the books don't want it. And so probably 75-80% of the audience, you're going to end up with this. So I don't know what the future holds for this, obviously. Maybe what we'll get shorter story runs, and maybe, instead of monthly releases or something like that, it's every other month for, say, Iron Man or Batman or something. Or it's more digital, and maybe they can have it so that if you want to print it out and bind it, you can like send it to Kinko's or something and go and pay an extra $10 or something and have it bound in some fashion. Maybe so that they don't even have to do the publishing that way. It's all electronic unless you want it. So let's look at all those kind of Marvels, SJW. Yeah, but I think again, it was already started downhill before all this nonsense started. It just really sped up the collapse. So there you go. Thanks so much for stopping by. Thanks for clicking like. What do you think of all this? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks so much for sharing. I am echoing all these to BitChute, and I'm going to start looking at mines and others as YouTube keeps shutting down more and more channels, and of things that they don't like, they keep, eventually I don't know what's going to be on YouTube, but it's kind of spiraling down too. All right, thanks so much, and we'll see you. Goodbye. I know this video has been terrible for my allergies. I think it's just because I'm getting older. It's been very mild, but a lot of rain, so a lot of green. All right, let's get started. 3, 2, 1.